This year at the Foundry, we focused on our communal life together, and our nominations and leadership development team broke up and did 4 different sessions. And here with Terry and Derek, who led a session on leadership in small groups, which is a big topic. You could have done a lot of things, but let's just kind of begin with what does leadership in small group mean to you guys, and what are some of the things that you tried to talk about in your group?
I think that leadership is something that everybody is invested in and has a portion to deal with. So in small groups, what different aspects of a leader could be is somebody that hosts the actual meeting, somebody that organizes it. If you're having food, somebody's bringing the food, getting the invite out to other people. So there's always a place for someone to have a portion of leadership. It's not just on one person. And for everybody's different aspects of life, they're bringing their own kind of thoughts and ideas to the table, which is very important in trying to establish leadership and helping out a small group.
Yeah, for sure.
We also talked about some of the characteristics of a good leader.
Yeah.
That servant leader, someone who cares more about the group than themselves, being able to bring out everybody's talents. As you meet, you learn more about people and being able to pull out their talents, and also to build leaders for future.
Yeah.
You start this small group, and at some point in time, it's probably going to devolve into someone else is leading it. So you're teaching those skills so that they're leading other groups in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back at the Wesley Foundation, it's all small groups.
Yeah.
And he started off with small groups.
Yep.
And had a method to do it. So we always foster and encourage people to get together in community, in small groups, to learn about themselves, learn about the Bible, about just the Methodist movement.
Yep. Yeah. I both of you have been in small groups for a while and various different capacities and different forms of it, and I think one of the hardest parts about being a leader in any capacity is trying to, kind of create that space for a small group. I know that was kind of one of the things that you talked about amongst many, of creating that sort of welcoming space, creating that space where everyone feels like they could jump in. Is there anything to that y'all kind of elaborated on, or that you would want to kind of share? If I'm someone that's trying to lead a group and going, how do I get this group to feel like a group, and not just a bunch of individuals that showed up? What's it look like for us to create welcoming and groups where people feel like I can engage, I have a part to play?
I think for me personally, a lot of my expertise in leadership came from my personal job that I do. And so taking some of the leadership skills I've gotten from there and learning as a leader, you have to be a friend, you have to be a confidant, you have to be the supervisor, you have to do all these different things. So there's a lot of different avenues that you have to take on as a leader. Yeah. And so kind of trying to blend those and teach that to other people. And it's not something that you get good at overnight. And even when you think you're good at it, you're still learning a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. So it's always just kind of being open and taking everybody's different interests in account and being mindful of people's beliefs and how they feel, and using all that different information, blending that together as a group, and then kind of making that your foundational pieces.
Yep. Yeah.
And making sure that you have that open communication where you can talk about your active listening, you're being empathetic to everybody that's talking. It always helps that when you start off this group, you've got a vision. Where are we going with this? What are we going to do? Yeah. And set those expectations. Yeah. But as Terry said, you'll make sure that you're listening to everybody and making everybody feel welcome.
Yep. Yeah.
I think in addition to that, too, you have to make sure you follow through. Because sometimes what happens to small groups when they fall apart is people say they're going to do one thing and then they don't follow through on it. Or if there's some kind of internal conflict, it doesn't get resolved. So instead of everybody working together to keep the group strong and moving forward, they just decide to fall apart. And then you have people that become jaded about small groups or don't want to join them again. Yeah. And so it just makes it a trickle-down effect. So the more that people are invested into it and you get that buy-in from the group and everybody takes that leadership role and feels like they're a part of the Avengers, right? So they all take on that role. They're all important. So then that way your group can get strong from the core. And then from there, like you mentioned before, you can spread out and use that leadership as you move forward.
So first week, you just assign your Thor, your Captain America, America, you're just go down the line, give an Avenger title to someone.
It just depends on the day, right?
Yeah, okay.
And the group.
Yeah. Okay, what else? What else was some of the other big topics that y'all tried to cover in your group?
I think a lot of it was, we made sure that we kind of emphasized that when you get in that group, you're going to have a diverse set of backgrounds.
Yeah.
And kind of opened up to let everybody have their word, have their say, and just be, honest, have honest talks, and there's active listening skills.
Yep.
Just to make sure that everybody, again, feels welcome.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, turn somebody off in your small group because, as Terry said, you turn them off at once and they may never come back again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you take on those leadership roles in your small group first, and then you can expand upon that. So if you wanted to join any other groups in the church, if you want to help out in ministry, if you want to help out with the choir, if you want to be an usher, if you want to do all these different things, now you have that experience of being a leader, and now you can step up more. It gives people more confidence, let them feel more emboldened to do different things in the church and to be more included. So that's one thing we always want to preach is inclusivity. So one of the best ways to do that is get it at the core in the small group. From there, they can branch out and help out a lot more in the church.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting my group together. I've been doing it for a while, or I've just started. What are some of the big challenges, common challenges that y'all try to talk about that show up in groups and kind of ways to navigate them?
Time is number one.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own schedule. Everybody's important, and you have to try and find that common ground. Even if that means people have to compromise, you have to find that way to make it work. It's going to take some effort on everybody's part, but if you put in the effort, you'll get more out of it as well. So time for sure was the big one that I noticed the most.
Yeah.
And then also, have that ability to have a discussion and work through, those possible rubs or whatever you want to call them that people, that discussion gets kind of heated and stuff.
Yeah. Because surprisingly, we don't all think alike.
Who would have thought?
I know, right?
Shot face.
There's going to be disagreements. Yeah.
But disagreement is good.
Yes.
Because, we are a diverse group. And, always encourage, to, speak your mind and things like that. So we can work through those disagreements or the discussions. But in a discussion, you always want to make sure that everybody's open and honest and valued.
As long as the conversations are positive moving forward, as long as they're constructive, that's the best part. If you're taking these conversations and they become negative or they become hurtful and people aren't accepting or open to other people's opinions, that's when you get issues. So as long as you take everybody's words to heart and, use those effectively as a leader in your group, I think you're moving in the right direction.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you want to add that you covered in your groups?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
And being a leader is a cool thing. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks.